If you looked at my life from the outside, you'd probably think I had it all figured out. A beautiful home, a respected career, a wife who's been by my side for over 2 decades, stability, structure, predictability. And for most of my life, that was enough. My wife and I built something real together. 21 years doesn't happen by accident. We raised 2 children who are now adults, off finding their own way in the world. We survived the chaos of early careers, sleepless nights, financial stress, and all the little compromises that come with building a life alongside someone else. I still adore her. I really do. She's intelligent, kind, elegant in a way that feels familiar and safe. When she walks into a room, there's still a part of me that notices her beauty, not in a hungry way, but in a deep, respectful one, like admiring a painting you've lived with for years, but somewhere along the way, something changed. The intimacy faded so quietly that neither of us noticed when it happened. A night turned into a week into months. Eventually, an entire year passed without us touching each other in that way. At first, I told myself it was stress. Work had been relentless, long hours, endless decisions, responsibility stacked on responsibility. I assumed my body was just responding to pressure the way any man's would, but then doubt crept in. I did what most men are afraid to do. I went to the doctor. Blood work, hormones, heart health, testosterone levels, the whole checklist. I wanted answers. I needed them. Because the alternative, that this was somehow my fault, was too heavy to sit with. The results came back perfect, healthy, normal, no signs of erectile dysfunction, no chemical explanation, no physical reason. The doctor smiled and said, "Everything looks great, Douglas." I nodded, thanked him, drove home in silence, because if everything was great, why did I feel so empty? That's when the truth became impossible to ignore. It wasn't my body, it was the spark. My wife didn't excite me anymore. It didn't. Not in the way she once did, not in the way a man wants to feel pulled towards someone. I hated myself for even admitting that. I still hate it. Because love doesn't just disappear, and attraction isn't supposed to vanish like smoke. But it did. We became partners, friends, roommates with shared memories and matching routines. Dinner at the same time, the same shows, the same conversations recycled week after week, comfortable, too comfortable. And then something that the doctors couldn't figure out was seemingly fixed by one person, this new person, Demetria. She was transferred into my department without ceremony, a quiet change on a crowded calendar. A new assistant assigned to help manage schedules, reports, correspondence, efficient, professional, temporary, I assumed. The first time I saw her, I didn't feel anything dramatic. No lightning, no sudden realization, just awareness. She looked at me differently, not with reverence, not with obligation, but with curiosity, like she was actually seeing me. Not the title, not the role, but the man underneath all of it. Her presence unsettled me in ways I wasn't prepared for. She laughed at things my wife no longer noticed, asked questions that weren't on the agenda, held eye contact just a second longer than necessary, not enough to be inappropriate, just enough to be dangerous. She smelled like fresh flowers, sweet and innocent. Her smile was intoxicating, but her eyes said something couldn't. I seen adventure, young vibrance, and more than anything, I seen desire. I told myself it was nothing. I told myself I was imagining it. But deep down, I knew better. Because for the first time in a long time, I felt awake. I felt young again. I felt something in me as a man wake up. Wow, I can't explain it. But that is when I knew she was trouble.